Well, greetings to you once again, everyone. This is Bob Martin, the RCSubGuy with the Nautilus Dry Docks. We're going to be talking about RC submarines all week. We have a lot to do. I got to catch up from being away next week. We got a Virginia to get in the water. We've got a Thunder Tiger Neptune to upgrade, cylinder to build, orders to pack. We have no time. Let's get started. Alright, boys and girls, before we get this week started, I have something really exciting to share with you. If you follow my channel or you're in the hobby, you know about Subfest, and that happens every year in Cotta, Georgia at the Red Clay Resort. We just had our last event here and it went over absolutely amazing. We had about 50 people in attendance, like 100 RC submarines. It was epic. As that was such a success, we have decided to have a West Coast regatta, and we're calling it Subfest West. Before we nail things down, though, we want your input. If you head over to my website, to the events page, you'll see under events, Subfest West, and there's a form in there that you can fill out, just letting us know if you're interested in attending and what dates would be good for you. We're looking at some dates in October and in November, so we need some feedback from you in order to nail those dates down. This is going to be a lot different than a usual event where you just kind of go to like a pond or a spring or something like that and run your boats. This is going to take place at the Avi Resort and Casino in Nevada. And as such, we're going to have access to some amazing venue features such as crystal clear water on the Colorado River, 2 docks. We can get right over our boats. Pondside tables, pondside tents, pondside chairs, access to their swimming pools. We'll have all of the amenities of the resort, including on-site restaurants, the casino, arcades for kids, and then there's a campground right across the street if you guys wanted to come in with RVs. It is going to be absolutely epic, I have no doubt, but we need to nail things down. Head on over, express your interest, pick your dates, and we'll get things going. We are going to start things off with talking about the smoke from the Crow. You guys have been awesome about giving me ideas about trying to troubleshoot that other unit. I decided, for the sake of expediency, rather than mess around with that, I'll just get a couple more smokers because they were cheap. They were like 20 bucks on Amazon. So these are the units, and I thought I'll use 2 of them, one for each stack, and I'll get lots of smokage to go on. All right. None of them work. I got 4, 2 different brands, and they're all crap. This is what the inside looks like. I'm trying to figure out why it doesn't work. Doesn't turn on. Doesn't do anything. I got power on the remote. Charged this up for a day. The battery is completely and utterly dead. Did not take a charge. I just tested it. 0.00 volts. That's super exciting. This is a, what is this here? 3.7 volt, 1200 milliamp hour pack for this. I'm still interested to see how this is going to work. So what I'm going to try and do is take one of these cells here, these lithium ion cells, jumper it to this, and see if we can get this going. So this was my setup here. I jumpered this and I used one of these batteries to power it up. It worked for 10 seconds and then shut off. And now I can't get it to go again. Yeah. This is not good. So we can take another look in here and see. I'm wondering if these things are really just, because one of these is this is the remote switch, so we could get rid of this. We could just get rid of it. Let's just do that. We'll just get rid of it, and we'll wire these together. It says in and out on the back, so we know what that's all about. And then we'll see if it works. And if it doesn't work, we'll just cut these wires, throw some voltages at it, and see what it does, because it looks like these are all spliced together. You know what? I wonder what this board does. There's some coming like a voltage regulator or something like that. But yeah, why would we do that? We'll just cut this right here, hook up some power, and see what happens. So, success of sorts. Well, why are these smokers so like difficult? I don't understand. So if I hook this thing up, this is exactly what it is. The voltage just goes straight through to these things. There we go. That's poopy. That is not a lot of smoke, people. I'm going to need to go back to that other one. So I had a visitor yesterday. I had someone stop by the shop, Nathan. He has a super cool project that he wanted to talk about. And anybody that makes the time and effort to come out, I'll give you the time to chat about your project. This is it. We brainstormed this. This is a submarine from Warcraft, a video game, and he wanted to build this all out. He's a mechanical engineer. He's got some chops, people. He's not just making stuff up. But at any rate, we brainstormed lots of different things and controls. So hopefully, as a local, you're going to see him in some videos. We have another Fitz Fun Float of Flotilla-ness coming up on the 21st of June. And he said he's going to be there, so you'll see him in the video when we do that. Old Edward Tortle, Sub-Ed, is going to be out there. We're going to run some boats. So there you go, local guy, cool project. So we're going to start with Virginia because this is kind of low-hanging fruit here. We have our power outlet. Let's back up a little bit here. I got this submarine in. I had originally built it for a customer. He traded it into me. I sold it to Steve. Steve brought it to Subfest. I bought it from Steve. We're refitting, upgrading, and all of that stuff. It's going to have new paint, new decals, and above all else, we're trying to revamp the idea that Steve initially had with the auxiliary propulsion unit, as I have deemed it. So if we can swivel this thing. You can see these nozzles on the bottom. I think you can. Hold on a sec. Now you can see them. Look at that. So in my previous videos, created these nozzles. And inside here is a big centrifugal pump, a big bilge pump. And it's going to blow water past the rudder here. If it's centered, these thrust vectored water jets are just going to flow past the rudder. But when you cock the rudder, both jets get caught, one by the leading edge and one by the trailing edge. And the thought behind it is that you'll get some instantaneous yaw control. So when the boat is standing still or at very low speeds in the traditional setup, for all modern boats, for that matter, with their control surfaces before the prop, you have to have water flow over the control surfaces. So if you're traveling very slow, you have no control. No control. You just move forward and you cross your fingers that you get enough speed to turn. And then over and above that, the Virginia has these, I think they're called dihedral fins. They're just more stabilizers acting to keep it going in a straight line. So hopefully with our pump here, can we see it? Yeah, there it is. Where's my light? There we go. So you can see the pump in there. That's going to, when it's turned on, give instantaneous yaw control. And if something bad were to happen to your main propulsiveness device, you would still have propulsion. You could limp back to shore while still having full control over your steering. Sounds pretty awesome. So Steve had this all rigged up before. He had tried a much smaller pump, and it didn't do anything. I've got a bigger pump, and we're going to hope it does. Now I just need to hook these up like this, and we'll do some testing, make sure the pump fires up. And if so, probably move on to some cosmetics. Throw some decals on here, clear waterline, make it look beautiful, and we'll do some testing in the top secret test facility. So I was all excited to get the cylinder tested and tested the pumps, but all my batteries are like at 11 point something volts, so I gotta charge them. Let's do some decals. This is what you get with this kit. You got all the instructions for the placement of the decals and the decal sheets. So if anybody's built a plastic model kit, you know how this works. Cut it out, put it in the water, soften it up, stick it on. I don't need to go through this with you. Let's do a quick before. And now we're at this. And it looks kind of crappy because of the different sheen for the decals, but that will change when we clear coat this bad boy. So we're going to let these decals dry out completely. And once that's done, we'll hit it with a little bit of clear and lock them in. I believe when I got this initially, the guy had applied all the decals and didn't clear them. So he was doing like water testing, and then all the markings just floated away. All right, we're clear coated. Did some matte clear, locked everything in. It's drying, which is why it looks a little patchy right now. I want to play with a little bit with Thunder Tiger this morning. I'm running out of time. This is the weekend, guys. Holiday. Had this motor. I've been sitting on this for forever. It's a Ghoul RC in-runner, and it came with this monster. Oh, one way. Oh no, that's poopy. Okay, well, I'll have to grab another electronic speed controller. But at any rate, this motor looks like it's going to bolt right up to this. So let's see what we can make happen. Well, I'm shit out of luck. The motor apparently somehow is only designed to spin in one direction. So when I go the other way, even though it's a bi-directional speed controller, we've only got one direction. So let's go check the parts bin. So the challenge with a lot of these Outrunners is that they're rear mounts. And so if you try and mount them to this motor mount, I would have to make a flange bracket majigger that would go around the outside and allow it to be bolted in. But I found these, my favorite little blue guys, and they're a front bolt. Now, what are the odds that that bolt pattern matches up to that bolt pattern? Slim? None? Let's see. Well, I'll be snookered. Lines right up. A pure bolt-on replacement. Now, that's a 1/8 shaft. I just gotta see the old stock motor here. What are the odds that that's 1/8 inch shaft? That looks pretty close to me, guys. All right, let's see if we can get that adapter off. Yeah. All right, little hiccup. The set screw in here is stripped. Tried using extractor bit and doesn't like it. So we may be drilling this out. Have to put a new set screw in there. So this little guy is working perfectly. Not a problem. Kind of thought so. I wasn't too worried about it, but it's ugly and I want the speed. I want all the speed. Alright, here's a situation we got going on here. It looks like they used dog bone, which is actually an interesting choice. I don't know why. But there's no dog bone. I assume it's sheared. There's chunks of stuff inside. So I got this coupler, a straight coupler. And we'll just straight couple it straight right onto the shaft. Like that. And then we should be okay. And here's the problem. That's going to adjust the length, which means this probably won't be long enough to reach the prop. What size shaft is that? And here is the completed motor assembly. And they bolted right up. Everything looks really, really good. I'm going to back these bolts off, put some silicone underneath them. and then tighten them back down again. But it's nice and smooth and quick. So I think we got the motor situation figured out. Now that we have the motor done, and by the way, it came with this nice brass prop. Fits on the 4mm shaft perfectly. Moving on to the inside, the guts have been extracted. This switch is broken. How do you even break that? Like, seriously. So, I believe this is the main power switch. And this is the switch for the AV power, I think. If that's the case, and I'll open this up and take a look, I may just swap this out. Because I'm not going to run camera in this thing. This is not the purpose behind this. Cameras are overrated, people, in submarines. Like, way overrated. So let's crack into this and see what we're actually dealing with here. So, sure enough, that's the main power switch right there. You can see charging lead and the power lead are going in, and then they run to the switch right there. So, let's see if I can repair this. Do we have the capabilities of repairing it? Let's see. Yeah, the answer to that question is no. The internal parts needed are missing, so it just flops around. This would be a dual pole, single throw switch. And I've got lots of single throw switches, but nothing like this. So, we gotta rectify this whole situation here, people. I'm gonna have to see if I can find something on Amazon. Get it over here, postish hastish, to desolder and resolder this thingamajigger. Alright, guys. Didn't get anything done yesterday, and there's a reason for that. Went to the doctor the other day, and I was telling I was telling the doctor about Logan's eye. Now, some of you may have seen it in the last video. It was kind of like droopy, and the doctor recommended we go to emergency and get a whole bunch of testing done. So did that yesterday. Took about like 6 hours out of the day. It was kind of crappy, but there's some good news and bad news. So as a result of Logan's collapsed lung, it stressed the nerves up on the top of the lung there, which affected his eyeball. So he's got a little bit of a droop, and the pupils are dilating at different rates. Now, it's not affecting his vision. He doesn't have any pain. There's no problems with it whatsoever. It's just a little weird and disconcerting. Good news is, doctor said there's nothing really that we can do about it. Should rectify itself on its own in a few months. So good news on that point. It kind of sucks that it happened in the first place, but this is what happens when you get injured, I guess. All right, on to some submarine stuff. Virginia is all done, wired up, tested. Everything is functional. I've got control over the pumpage. What's interesting to me is I've got that on this switch here. I had it on a two-way switch, and it would not turn on. So again, I didn't build this. Steve did. He's got a switch unit right here. I think the way it's set up is power is on in either left or right, but I don't know if it's a reversing switch. I suppose I should reach out to him. I could find out. If that's the case, I need to figure out which way is forward, because these centrifugal pumps they'll pump in with both directions, but way more efficiently in the correct. So I'm going to go ahead and get this in the boat and get it tacked down, everything wired up, ready to go, so that later today, hopefully if the weather cooperates, we can throw this in the pool and see what our APU is going to do for us, if anything. We'll see. This is a test. This is forging new groundages, people. And then I got to finish the weathering and everything on that sucker. So that is where that is at. And today I got to clean up this schmozzle of an area for the Thunder Tiger. Get this stuff away. I think we're going to be. I haven't decided yet. There's the 40 megahertz radio, which would probably work really good. I don't know. Maybe we will go with that one. I also brought an X14 900 megahertz radio, which would give us exponentially more, options in terms of programming and that kind of stuff. But this is low frequency, and it would penetrate the water really, really well, especially on 40 megahertz, which may or may not be illegal in the United States. Just saying. And what else we got? I got a new switch. These look really big, though, compared to that switch. I don't know. We'll have to see if I can jury rig this to fit. I'm sure I can. I'll figure something out. This will probably end up selling. Although there's no camera. I don't know. Maybe there's a camera hiding in here somewhere. I got to get my brain wrapped around me. And I got my alpha cylinder parts laying out. My alpha cylinder. We got the Typhoon stuff. Logan's working on his Pisces diorama. I'm just like, oh my God. I need to focus, people. This is severe squirrel syndrome going on here right now. All right, Virginia has been masked for the waterline, and I use the laser level. You can get these suckers. They're not that expensive, but they're great for water lines. Just set it up, level things out, and you can see the laser beam right there, perfectly level, which is great for areas like this back here, where it goes like around contoured corners and all sorts of cool stuff like that. So we're going to bring this thing out, give it a little mist along the water line, and this will be cosmetically almost ready to go, ready for the water. And this is what it looks like before you strip the tape. And we're going to do the strippy tapey thing right away. It's like the best thing ever. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Logan for working at 5 a.m. because it's the only time we have a chance to work together with this new crazy schedule. Is it everything you hoped it would be?
I am at a weird point where I feel conscious and yet everything feels a little blurry.
Logan's going to be setting up a couple cylinders that'll be going out. And then we'll be much more cottage up-ish. I'll feel a lot better once we clear the bench off. This is like my angst area. If this workbench is crowded, I get angsty. Oh. All right, with the Virginia done and ready for the water, we can move on to the Thunder Tiger a little bit. Let's take a look at the whole switch situation. So, broken switch. And if we take a look at the back, this is what we've got going on. In this position, connecting the center to the outside, it's a 2-position switch. It connects to the charging port. So the model's off, charging port is connected to the battery, and the battery can charge. In the on position, it passes power through the fuse holder and into the boat, presumably over here somewhere. I could not for the life of me find a small switch like that. I did find this big switch. So I think what I'm going to do is jumper these terminals in the back. And I can do that because the inside of the switch is basically empty. There's no rocker connector arm that goes through, which is why I couldn't just glue that back on again. That's unfortunate. So we'll just run jumpers off this to the back of this, and then put this back here like this, and then put the switch on the top, and then try and figure out how we're going to run the linkages to turn it on and off. But first things first, let's get this wired up. Okay, so we got our switch majigger bolted back together again, and I got my wire leads hanging out. So I got to mount the switch. But before we do that, I'm curious about this pump. If you guys have followed my other ones, you'll see in the last 2 that I did, the pump was screwed. So this is the main board, and on the bottom here are the pump leads. So I'm going to disconnect these, and we're going to run power to the pump, find the intake for it, which should be over here somewhere, and put some water in there, and we'll pump it up, pump it down, pump it up, pump it down, make sure it works. And then we'll be able to move on to the switch majigger. Well, boys and girls, this is not looking promising for the pump. Now, if you take a look on the inside there, you can actually see the center shaft going on. And it is spinning. Usually this is a stripped or whatever, but in the direction that we're going, like this, air should be getting sucked through here, and it should be inflating this bag. And it is not doing anything at all. I'm going to try it with some water, but peristaltic pumps should be pumping air or water. So this is not looking good. Yeah, people, we got nothing. Nothing at all. It's like trying to move, kinda, sorta. Oh! Wait, something happened. What just happened? Well, now it's working. That's super slow. That's the thing about peristaltic pumps. High pressure, low volume, precise control. But I don't know, man. Do we trust it? Do we trust it to keep working? Maybe we'll try cycling it a few times and see. Oh, pop it. I just want to check the bag, make sure. Yep, okay. That's good. Now we can reverse the polarity this. All right. Well, I guess. I don't know why it just decided to work. Man, that makes me nervous. It should just work or not work, not decide to work and not work. This cycle time is, what? How long do you think it is? 45 seconds?
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Option 2, and I was all ready for this, is this. Do I just do it? This is a gear pump. The same ones that R&R uses. This is a windshield washer pump from a Renault or something like that. Yeah, there you go. See, same ones. But this would fill and empty the bag in, like, I betcha, freaking 10 seconds. 5 seconds. 2 seconds. You know, we could try it. Let's see. You know what? Let's try it. We're here anyway. So I like this. Just watch and see the difference between that peristaltic pump and the gear pump. Let's try it. Go in the right direction. 4, 3, 2, 1, full. 5, 6 seconds. I like that. I like that a lot. Here's the problem. People. Let me see if I can get this like that. When this thing pressurizes in the cylinder, water or air pressure is going to squeeze this bag and the water leaks out. So the only way you could do it is to put an inline solenoid valve like OTW uses. So do we? I got lots of room. It's all in line. I could see if I have one. Is it worth it? The peristaltic pump is working. I just don't think it worked for a long time and it just needed to get loosened up a little bit. I don't know. Let's see. I'll see if I got a solenoid valve, and if so, maybe we'll use it. And if it's too much of a pain in the ass, we'll just leave the old system. All right. We're going to do it. We're going to have all the upgrades. I'm going to pull that out, put that in, and we're going to run it through this guy. I've been using these in my Seaview build and in my 212. This is a large orifice, actually. I think it's an 1/8 inch. And it's perfectly set up for the hoses. I don't even need to do anything. So all we do is we wire these in parallel with the pump. When the pump comes on, this opens, water flows through. When you turn the pump off, it closes and seals up the bag. Let's start making some modifications. Look at the size of this thing. But I want you to notice the size of the motor. It's the exact same motor as the main propulsion motor. So they're just simplifying their bill of materials. You know, One motor does both the peristaltic pump and the main drive motor. So smart. Smart. And here we are at the top secret test facility during the day. It's my lunch break. And we want to test Virginia in the mini test facility. So let's power things up, make sure it all works, drop it in the water, and see what happens. Power it up. And power. Do we have power? We do have power. We got some rudders, we got some diplanes, we got some throttle, and we got 4 diplanes. And we've got pumpage, or ballast. And our APU, which you probably can't hear. What a cool looking boat that is. I like Virginia. Turns like a pig, but that's what we're trying to figure out. All right, she is settling in the water right now. Or it's not. I was really expecting a lower sternage situation because I added a gigantic pump back there. So it's sitting actually almost perfectly level according to the water line. What do you guys think? Looks right to me. About 3/8, quarter of an inch maybe, all the way around. Huh. I don't know, maybe this tank is a little oversized. Let me grab the radio and we're gonna see what that thing does. All right. Let's, I don't know, let's just drive it forward, I guess, and put the nose up against the edge over there. That way we can get some goosage on the propage. Get up, get up, get up. Get up. Whoa. Ugh. That's some serious thrustage. Okay. Now let's see what the pump does. Ready? Oh, it moved really good. Where's my rudder? Is it turning? It's turning. Let me try kicking this over in the other direction. Yeah, it's moving. Okay, let me back up a little bit. Now I want to kick the pump on and see how it pushes. So we're kind of moving back. Oh yeah, look at that. Wow. That was pretty impressive. Hold on a second. Let's get some more room to get fired up here. So we're moving backwards. Kick the pump on. Boom. Yeah, it's turning. It's turning. Look at that. That's not bad. Okay. Well, not that this thing is going to do like spirals around, stationary or anything like that, but we have steering control while stationary. I think this is successful. The actual implementation wasn't that bad at all. Let's see how this thing dives. Is it a little... No, man, this is pretty level. What that is, my pump in the back like neutrally buoyant? What the heck? Okay, well, tank is full. You won't lose sight of it, that's for sure. All right, let's give it a little shake. Make sure there's no trap air in here. Get under there. Get under there. Hiya, hiya. Oh, now the stern's going down. Oh, no, now it's coming back up. I think it might just need a little weight in the front. Maybe a little flotation in the back. But again, guys, we expected this. We expected this. What if we put a little weight in the front? Oh, I like it. Well, right here, right in front of the sail. Yep. Let's grab some weights. So here we go. I got a bunch of weights up on the nose, right there. This is where I want it. This is where we want it, people. All right, let's try and go up. It's stuck under the rocks. Hold on a second. You pesky critter. All right, here we go. Up, 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 up. All right. So now it's heavy by the nose. And this is the whole trim thing that we talked about before. You really shouldn't add weight when you're doing submerged trim. So really what we've got to do is add foam at the back and then shift that weight into the middle. All right, let me grab some rubber bands and some foam. All right, this is looking perfectionist-ish. Let's bring her back up again. I remember where we were sitting previously was really heavy by the bow. But we shifted all that weight to the back. That foam probably should have been put above, yes, above Bob. What are you doing, stupid head? Above the water line. Up, above. There we go. Look at that. All right. Now, we just got to put the weight in the boat, the foam in the boat, and then it'll be ready to go out into the big pondage situation. Tested. If that works out, off to the pond. This is a pool, and then we'll go to the pond later. All right, it's the next morning, and sit rep on the Virginia. Everything's all dried out. There was not a lick, drip, or any evidence at all of condensation or water in the cylinder, which is a good thing. Here's the challenge. That's where the foam needs to go. That's the water line, and we've already got a lot of foam there. So we're going to need to do some adjustment in terms of our placement of this foam. This is the correct amount of weight and foam to get us to the water line. We're just going to need to play with it a little bit in terms of the placement. You know, even in the upper hull right here, we got a lot of foam. So, yeah, challenging. This may end up having to go below the water line. In which case, the only difference is it's going to sit a little bit like that on the surface. But in submerged operation, it'll be perfect. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to have to play with it. Usually trimming is multiple passes, people. You never get it on the first try. Well, let me back up. You rarely get it on the first try. So we're going to do some placement here, get this stuff installed, get it back out into the water, probably this weekend. I don't think I'll be able to do it today because I got work. And then we're going to go back over to our Thunder Tiger and finish our work on our pump. All right, here's our super ultra upgraded pump system. Let me see if I can flip it over here. So water comes in. It'll flow through there eventually, but it flows in to the pump, out through the solenoid valve, and to the pressure sensor and the bag in parallel. Now, the wiring is shared. So basically, whenever this pump gets voltage either forward or reverse, the solenoid valve opens. So let's see how this works in practical application here. Get our water pump set up here. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, man. Get in there. I ran out of water. Anyhow, they're definitely within 10 seconds. And it empties even faster. I like it. I like it a lot. The Thunder Tiger has a heartbeat. So what I've done is I've just jumpered the power directly to the board, bypassing the power distribution block thing. We're going to get to that in a second. But everything works. Look at this. We got rudder. We got dive planes. We've got pump. We've got throttle. Here's we got switches. Yeah, this is what we've got going on up here. I tried to bypass the old switch by putting the new switch in, and for whatever reason, it's just not working. But then I got to thinking, I'm like, okay, I can troubleshoot this. It's not a problem. Well, it is a problem, but I can solve it. This whole assembly, the only thing it does is it takes power in, turns the power on and off, and creates a charging port right here. But then there's also this whole separate assembly for the FPV system, which we're not using. So basically all of this can be replaced with a remote on-off switch. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pitch this whole thing, and it's going to leave this entire area open. To charge it, I just pop this open, and I can pull the battery out or just hook up a charger directly to it. Simplicity, people. Kiss principles. And now, the other thing we've got to do is figure out how we're going to wire in the lights. Right? But first things first. All right, it's Saturday morning. I wanted to get some more work done before we got the video all finalized. And we're making some good progressives. So this is the unit as she stands right now. I know it feels like a jump, but really the only thing I did was mount the remote switch, and then did these connectors in the front. And to basically the way that this will work is when you're done running, you take the front off, undo that, charge up the battery. Simple as that. This just stays connected all the time. And yeah, I moved this 180 degrees. It used to be up with the fuse holder up on top here, but I wanted better access to the wires. Everything's all bolted in and everything. The other thing that I did is secured the wires away from the motor, so those should not rub. So that should be pretty good. I did do a function test, and we can check it. We got rudder, dive planes, throttle. That sounds so cool. And pump. So all I got to do is replace these majiggers in here to seal these holes off. They're not used anymore. Simplified. I like it. Simplified. And I've got to replace this. This has been busted off. Nice. I don't know what happened to this poor thing, but at any rate, we're getting her rigged up. She's going to be pretty freaking cool when we're done with it. What am I going to do next here? I think we're going to test fit the tail cone and cut the drive shaft to length so we can get our propage on. This is an upgraded prop over the standard 3-blade. So I'm feeling good about this. One more thing I almost forgot. I'm putting a little foam pad on the back of this front bulkhead. And the reason is the battery right there can move in and out. And I don't want this thing to smack into, like a wall, shift the battery forward, tilt the boat, So this will just hold it. where it needs to be. Why didn't you guys tell me I was forgetting something? You gotta put these mounting bracket majiggers on. Otherwise, you can't put the tail cone on. Oh, fortunately, 2 bolts, and it just goes right on there. All right, here we are with the test fittage of the stern cone and prop. So now I can mark the length of shaft, and this will all be set to go. Now this is set up for a set screw right there. Don't know what size. We'll have to give her a little try. It looks like it's been tapped, so hopefully it's like a 440 or something. Easy. But everything seems to be fitting and working and going and doing exactly what it needs to be. I think this goes like this. Or something like that. There we go. Yeah. Nice. Really, guys, these props should be like as tight to this nozzle as possible for maximum thrust. Shrouded props get a little bit more efficiency, but the trick is to make sure that the tips of the props are almost interference with the ring. This is probably more along the lines of a guard so people don't get their fingers chopped up in it. I wonder if I have a bigger prop. I wonder if I need a bigger prop. You know what? This one works. Why am I making more work for myself, people? So this is what it looks like when it's all done. Nothing exciting. Pretty stoked about this. This was inside the front of the boat for the linkages to turn it on and off. And these are the exact same linkage horns that are used on the back here. So all I got to do is take this off, put this on, steal that, put that over in the front, and then that's it. We're good. That was easy. I thought I was going to have to fabricate this, and it'll match. That'll be kind of cool. Well, I'm feeling really good with both Virginia and the Thunder Tiger. This is a good place to leave it off for the week, because I got to edit this so you guys can have breakfast with Bob here in a couple of hours. But before we go, I want to talk a little bit about the aesthetics that I have planned for the Thunder Tiger. So this is it. I've just got these like set in place, but this is the yellow, yuck, right? Like yuck. This is what I'm thinking. I got these from my Hydra sub that I did, these nacelles, which are like a waterized version of a jet turbine. So I'm thinking if we put these in the back like this, and then put some little stubby wings out here with some missiles underneath, put the nose cone on with some cool mouth art on there, and mount a gigantic Gatling gun underneath the nose, we'll have an A-10, Aquatic 10 sub killer. What do you think? What do you think? Come on now, let's get some inputs. I'm kind of excited about. I know I was talking about World War II bomber kind of thing, but I was thinking, man, what if we put that a little forward like this, and then the nose. Come on, work with me here, people. What do you think? I think it'd be pretty badass. Gray paint with the white teeth and with the black background on the front. I'll pull these off so they're all weird and they're all warped anyway. And have like a bolt-on wing that sticks out, stubby wing with the missiles. Aquatic 10 sub killer. I like it. Comment below. What do you think? We'll pick that up next week. Well, actually tomorrow, but you won't see it till next week. With that, we're going to end it. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Had a blast. We've got some cool things going on here. Drop your comments below. Like and subscribe. Don't forget. You guys have an amazing rest of your day. As always, I will catch you next time.